Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This is Navarre High School. Am I saying that correctly? I think I am. And it sounds familiar. Florida? Anyway, that's okay. So, color guard, you can see them right over here. A fair distance from the camera. But here we go. You're marching inside a hangar. Awesome. So you had the team fall in. But why did you say fall in? Why are you doing that? So when you fall in, what do? You get your distance and your alignment. Same thing as when you fall into a platoon formation. Exact same thing. So many cadets think that it's necessary to to call attention when the team has already fallen in, and also then to dress right. And none of that's necessary. You say fall in, that takes care of everything, because you come to attention, you get your distance, you get your alignment. So it's already done. All you have to do is carry colors and forward march, and you're at the races. Speeding up just a little bit on your turn. So going into a turn, let me. Well, oh, you're gonna report here. Okay, so let's go up to this other turn here, and I want to pause and explain something. All right, you're going right into the turn. So let me ask you something. What do you do when you call half step? What do you do when you call mark time? So there is some good reasoning for let's say, so this is a left turn, left guard. There is reasoning for, since the left guard is going to come into essentially a mark time, although rotation in place, there is reasoning for the feet to come together and to address the next movement as going into mark time. Now, is it necessary for the whole team? No, it's not. This is just something I'm throwing out there. The look is great. It really is, when everybody slides in for the turn, brings their feet together, and then starts the turn movement in the 8 counts. I get that. I think what you're doing here is just fine. Although it looked he did. So let's go back though. Let's go back to this. So I was just throwing that out because I've had that brought up to me before. Okay, he starts right here. Right there. I had to move my cursor because the camera's moving. But left guard started right here. So the left guard is actually marching a little tiny... I'll use my 3 fingers here. So the left guard is marching a little tiny arc, and the others are having to march a larger arc as the left guard moves the team over to the left. Whereas, and this is why I bring up the marching in place, the Marine Corps technique of mark time march, slide the feet in, and then begin the step, because you're supposed to stay right in that spot there as you mark time. So essentially the left guard on a left turn, right guard on a right turn is marching in place, does not move. That means the steps don't take the individual, the guard, anywhere. So what you're doing here isn't truly a left turn. It's a modification of a left turn as you float the whole team over and around. So make sure you maintain. Hands have to be at mouth level, not above. So both the guards. That's interesting. I was going to say make sure that you maintain close interval. You have to stay at close interval all the time. When you're halted, when you're marching, close interval. You have fringe on your Navy. That's awesome. And then you have the American. But actually they look 3x5. And you're not... so the military doesn't use 3x5 flags. They use 3x4 flags. And there's a whole long... It's only the Air Force, the Space Force, and the Army that uses 3x4. Nobody else does. And there's a history behind that, but the Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard only use the 9.5-foot staffs, only the larger colors, the 4-foot 4-inch by 5-foot 6-inch. Now, when it comes to cadets, I understand why you would use the 3x4 colors. I get that, but not 3x5. This Navy color right here, since it's 3x5, is the wrong dimensions. And I actually have a briefing on colors and what is the correct size and what isn't. And this isn't, technically it is not the Navy color. It doesn't represent the Navy. It looks exactly like it. It's just 6 inches too long on either side. So anyway, and you can have it shortened. You can definitely have it shortened. You could send it to a flag company. You can have 6 inches taken off of the end of the national as well. So I would suggest that. But so I was noticing, you can see the belt buckle of both of the guards. That means the web belt is sitting above the. So this is the uniform belt. This is the web belt. So the uniform belt is supposed to be underneath, not below. Okay, this is the uniform belt. It's supposed to be underneath, as in the web belt is supposed to be over, covering the uniform belt, and that's not happening with both of the guards. Maybe, no, I don't think so. I'm not exactly sure about the color bearers. I don't know if the team gets closer to the camera or not. Not bad on the timing, guards. That was pretty close. So I see variation of technique in the wrist here. So let me show you something. All right. So guards, when you go to present, this is what your hand is supposed to look like. All right. This is what the other side looks like. Now I'm going to hold it just like I'm at present. So you can see that. What I see here with the left guard is the hand, it looks like the hand, or the arm is brought back here. So let me show you from the front. This is what present looks like, or is supposed to. See how my arm is out to the side? It's coming up naturally. I'm not pushing it back here. But that, I betcha, that is what the left guard is doing, and that's why the arm looks like this right here. So instead of forcing the arm, the wrist and some of the arm to be behind the rifle, that's not the technique that you want. You want to just lay the hand alongside of the small of the stock. The thumb is tucked into the palm, and the thumb rests right in that angle of the small of the stock. So I hope that's clear. So as you come up to As you come up to trim your colors, don't take the arm and swing it back. You're coming down with the staff, you let it slide through, and then you reach up. Just reach up. That's all you're supposed to do. Not this big dramatic swing. Also, you both came down almost exactly at the same spot, right in front of your shoes. That's fantastic. However, it's a bit too far out. So, you know, the ferrule is supposed to rest at the pinky toe there. So you're going to need to work on staff placement. But that was really well done. So I couldn't see whether, because if I had the camera shot from the other side, couldn't see whether you slid the hand up going out to parade rest. So if you're here at attention, then when you go to parade rest, then you need to keep your hand in the same place. Whatever you do, don't slide it up underneath the stacking swivel. That's not the technique. Just keep your hand in the same place. I can't really tell if either of you slid the hand up. I'm kind of guessing you did, by how tall you are and where your hand probably rests on the rifle. So, Commander, you came to attention and then called the team to attention. You're not outside of the formation. You're inside the formation. You're going to respond to your own commands. So you're going to stay at parade rest. And for some reason, only the Air Force addresses this. It's uncommon knowledge. Oh, the blue angles. Awesome. Now I know where you are. So, yeah, let me just continue on. You need to stay at parade rest and come to attention on your command with the team, because you're part of the team. That happens for a color guard, it happens for a flag detail, and it happens for parade staff as well. The commander doesn't come to attention to call the parade staff to attention. So instead of, I noticed the staffs are out in front, and I noticed, and I'll use my staff here, I noticed as you came up, you brought the staffs out just a bit and then came in, instead of coming straight up and over. It looked as though you did a little bit of this. Now, obviously not that drastic, but it looked... Yeah. It at least the Navy Bear up and over. But I really appreciate you coming up on center and ready to bring the ferrule in to the socket. So as you mark time, don't stomp. Now you're going to do it on the counter march. Make sure that you're squaring those corners. And I'm glad you're not moving all as one on those. But do you see there's as you're marking time, it's a little bit of a upper body jolt there. That means you're driving your toes, the platform of the foot, because you're doing a toe strike. You're driving the foot into the deck, and that's creating a shock in the rest of your body. So don't slam your feet and drive your feet into the deck. But then I was just going to make sure that you square your corners on that counter march. Yeah, you're still driving those toes in. Good. Execution is great. So I can see right rifle guard. I can see it's a little obvious. I can't see the other two, the color bearers, or the I'm sorry, left rifle guard, not right rifle guard. As you're pinning your hand up against your thigh, your hand is moving back and forth with your thigh. Your thigh needs to move independently of your hand. And that goes for all of you. Your hand needs to be essentially suspended in space. It will move because you're moving, you're doing things, but it's not supposed to move back and forth, in and out. It like I said, it'll move just a little bit, but you're supposed to suspend your arm swing there. And that doesn't mean pin your hand to your trouser leg. So that step off, I wanted to mention that earlier. Watch the step off. I'll try and pause this appropriately. Golly, I'm trying to get it there. Oh, well, I can't. Anyway, by the time you get here, everybody's step is exactly the same. However, I noticed that left rifle guard has a toe strike coming off. It's called a tendu in dance terms. You're marching in place, and then that first step is supposed to be a heel strike as the foot comes out. But he's putting out his toe and stepping off. And your feet are coming up much too high off the deck for your mark time. The toe comes up 2 inches, heel comes up 4. Harness sockets are aligned well. Don't forget to rock those rifles back, and so when you place a rifle down on the marching surface, like the butt here of my rifle is is square on the desk, that means that you can see there's an angle here going forward. Now, if I raise the camera up, then you would see that the upper part of the rifle where I would have my hand is, if I were standing next to it, the upper part of the rifle is well forward of my hip, just like you have right here. What you need to do is rock the rifle back like this, so that this line is more, it's going to be this line. This line is more vertical, and so that your thumb is along the seam of your trouser leg. So if you took the rifle away, all you'd have to do is cup your hand, and you're right at the position of attention. So I know neither one of the color bearers can see, but since you're marching shoulder to shoulder, it's a little easier. Well, not exactly shoulder to shoulder, but I know you're trying your best. So this is a kind of a crummy situation when you're marching, because you have to. You're marching at close interval, and the flag or the color is in your face. Just take your left hand and push it behind you. That's the only thing you can do. Besides, you seem to be keeping the same tempo throughout, no matter what you're marching. That's very good. So that flag movement, to pull the color out of your face with your left hand, it's just something that is necessary sometimes. Now, when marching at close interval, maybe you'll be able to see covered. Then you're going to have to do something. Although I know you're marching shoulder to shoulder, you're able to deal with this much easier. But I really admire both of the color bearers not even flinching with the color in their faces. It's awesome that the Blue Angels have one of their aircraft right there. So it sounded like you said color guard, halt, and you also, I think you said color guard, fall in. So the term for the Air Force is color guard and Space Force. Everybody else, the command is colors. Attention. What's interesting is that most judges don't really know what they're looking at, and they'll just judge alignment and spacing all the time because that's the only thing they're familiar with. It's not necessarily the judge's fault, but junior and senior ROTC cadets put in days, weeks, and months of training only to get adjudicated by people whose only qualification to judge is graduation from boot camp or basic training. That's it. That's the only qualification. Better timing this time. That was good. So are you cutting the cake, Navy Bear, or is that just... Don't cut the cake. Looks like the spade's flat. Yeah, you're cutting the cake. Don't cut the cake. Navy doesn't cut the cake. Only the Marine Corps does. I know that you're marching the Marine Corps manual. That's fine, but only the Marine Corps cuts the cake. And that's only with a Marine Corps color guard. All right, to sum up, you got to watch the stomping. You got to go to close interval. You really need to adjust your colors. Make sure your free arms, really nice turns. Still, you're marching shoulder to shoulder, so when you start marching at close interval, it's going to be a big difference. It's going to take a lot of time to learn. But that was no wonder you're getting screams and yells and and clapping. That was a great performance. Don't forget about the belts. And the first step off, after your marking time, you step off. Make sure everybody has that heel strike going. But thank you so much for the critique request. I do appreciate it. I hope my comments were helpful. All right, thanks.